Yo, mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2. If you don't know, you won't know till I finish this intro. This is the Black Ramen Podcast Stay at Home Edition. You feel me? We are building back once again with what you want and what you need. I go by the name of Kevin Legend, aka Kaiser, in the building. And as usual, I got a few good people here with me, man. So talk to them one time.
I don't even know what to say. What's up?
What's
What's
your
up?
name?
What's up? Okay. My name is Chatty Patty. Now let me stop. What's up, y'all? This is Chatty Patty here, aka B Buster Call, aka Luffy got my straw hat on deck, aka I'm ready to do the damn thing, aka I love y'all essential workers. Shout out to y'all, aka let's get this started. And I got with me the beautiful.
Hey, this is Bree, aka Bree, also known as Bree. And oh, what's another name? Bree. Yeah, just stick with that. Let's keep. Yeah, I'm classy. I'm clean. I'm here, and my tea has been restocked as of today. Bless you, essential workers delivering packages. Y'all are the real champs during this time.
What was your name?
Who else is with us?
Yeah, I think I forgot her name already.
And then we have with us the beautiful
Honey Bunny Gabby, you already know, the magical girl.
and we definitely got our essential worker, because he's definitely my essential worker. Go ahead.
Okay. What's up, guys? This is Derby, aka Sexual Chocolate. Happy to be here with y'all, man.
I never get told.
Yo. And we have with us a special guest that I'm extremely, extremely excited about, because he's definitely been an inspiration in the art world for a lot of people on Instagram. I've been following him ever since I started my page. So please introduce yourself.
Thank you for the introduction. My name is Kyle Turi. I'm also known as Wild Style, also known as Yakusan.
Hey.
Formerly known as Yakusan. I discarded it, and I currently go by Brooklyn Tengu.
So we could just a disclaimer, definitely you could follow Kyle on his Instagram page. We will have his link on the descriptions below, but it is, I think you changed it. It's not Brooklyn Tengu anymore, is it?
No,
it's still Brooklyn Tangle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys can definitely check out his amazing artwork, and we'll definitely have all his links down below so you can check them out. So, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Kyle, right? It's
yes.
BK. I'm glad I got BK blood on here, because I'm tired of fighting with everybody else, all these other boroughs on this podcast. But thank you for coming out here. You know, right? BK people. There you go. BK swag is different. We look different. We smell different. It's all in the essence in the air. I see it. You see it. Y'all all see it. So I see the hate. I see it. But
he's lying. He's from the point. So don't let him confuse you, listeners out there.
what made me definitely intrigued about your artwork most. I think you posted when I think it was Fist of the North Star. That's what got me. I was like, yo, he's from my generation, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then we was going back and forth. I'm like, yo, wow, there it is.
That's old damn 9 out there, man.
Yo, I don't know she can.
That's my little collection.
That man
collection. What? Oh my God.
You have to flex that. You have to flex like that. You have to do it.
I had to turn my whole computer around.
Did the BK a lot of your art style? Because I feel like a lot of your art on Instagram does have that kind of like beefcake, muscles on muscles, dude style.
Yeah. From the time that I grew up, the time period, I grew up on a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, or Jean-Claude Van Damme. Mm-hmm. So all that stuff from that era was practically the macho, masculine, type of stuff that I guess my artwork does exhibit, And then afterwards, I did start to bodybuild and spend a lot of time in the gym. So I got acquainted with the Mr. Olympias, the Jay Cutlers, and the Ronnie Colemans. You know, so
Okay.
my art does kind of reflect that.
Okay, so not only the anime style, but you go like full on actual model body types.
Yes, correct.
That's fine.
Cool.
Yeah, so you really be in the time chamber, really training. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was
The Vegeta.
Yep, that's it, man.
I didn't know it was reflected in the real life. Okay, that's hard.
I used to. I mean, that was a while back, actually. I've been working 9 to 5 shit. You know, not now though, since Corona. But
See, I was about to say you essential. You ain't essential. You non-essential.
I'm laid the fuck off too. I'm laid off like everybody else, man.
Allegedly.
Hey, I got time for art now, so I can't complain.
There you go.
Yeah, that ain't
There you
bad.
go.
Bad
So
thing,
let
right?
me ask you this: from one Brooklyn night to another, how was it growing up being an artist in Brooklyn? Like, did you get support from your fam? Like, is it something that you hid? But how was it for you finding your net in improving your art style growing up?
Chair is uncomfortable as shit. Hold on.
It's all right. It's all right.
No, well,
A little
my
crazy.
father-
He's moving.
I'm trying not to move too much, man. Fidgety. My father did a lot of Marvel artwork, Marvel styled artwork. I'm not gonna say he actually worked for Marvel. I
You know, I thought that's what you were saying. I'm about to say, yo, you shitting me?
That's like an autograph.
he never pursued it that far, but he did like Marvel style artwork as opposed to my anime and manga style. So I guess since my family knew him well, my mother's side of the family knew him well, I received a lot of support for my artwork at home, which is I notice a lot of people really don't.
Yeah.
And that's a shame. A lot of parents should back up their child and support them if they feel like they love something and they're passionate about it and good at it.
Wow, that's a blessing. For real.
Yeah.
So how was it in were you ever in a major arts class in high school?
Yeah, I studied portraiture.
Mhm.
So what we do is we'd use a mirror, or we use other students, and we draw portraits using charcoal, white and black charcoal only.
Yeah.
So you'd really flesh out the lights and the darks, the shadows and the light.
Oh, that's fire. I had to do that in college when I went to the art institute. Yo, did you ever draw naked people? You ever had to do that? 'Cause I remember the first
Well, I went to Parsons, and then I dropped out like in my second year, going into my second year, because they accepted me on academic probation. So that's like if you fuck up one class, you're out.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think it was like history or some shit. I don't know what the hell it was. But I kind of dropped out before they kicked me out. But we did have like 1 or 2 models, I believe, live models in the art class, and
Okay.
it was alright. The professor had some crazy ass like viewfinder shit, so it was like we spent most of that class building the fucking viewfinder instead of actually.
Oh, I remember the viewfinder. That joint was annoying. That little square shit you gotta use to. Oh,
yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just taking a pencil and measuring with the eye and whatnot, But he wanted to do the whole fancy shit, and I don't know, it was crazy. I did end up drawing a lot of nude females, and at least 1 nude male, and 3 transgender people.
Damn, we had that. Oh, snap.
Whole spectrum, man. And that was like recent. That was like out of school. That was more like just off of Instagram. Other models on a different page, doing different shit. I guess I do that to keep sharp with my anatomy.
Oh, that's dope.
Then did you ever get any kind of pushback when doing more classic drawings versus comic and anime style? So a lot of times in class, a kid tries to draw anime style figures, and the teacher might say, no, you got to draw real art. So did you ever have to deal with that kind of thing?
It's kind of weird because, how do I put it? There was one time in, what was it? I think it was junior high school. I did a Final Fantasy X watercolor painting.
Ah, yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if you guys played the game. You remember?
Oh,
He forgot who we talking to. Sorry.
go ahead, go ahead, talk your talk.
I mean, I know
Talk
somebody
your
had to play Final Fantasy X on this fucking.
talk.
in this
Talk,
Of course.
talk your talk, kid.
It was the Xanarkin ruins with Yuna and Tidus, and there was like a sunset, and half the
Yeah,
fucking
Oh,
I
water.
remember.
wow.
Yo, you did that in watercolor? That's hard. You still got that?
Nah, I don't. Even, I think the school still has it. But
Man, they be
the funny part
thieving.
about it was, God, sorry.
They be stealing. That's crazy.
Nah. I'm sure I let them keep it. But the funny thing about it is I forgot how to watercolor after that shit.
Oh
Ah,
shit.
I can't paint for shit now. But to answer your question, my art teacher in high school, the one I did the portraiture with, he allowed me to have some flexibility with my creativity. So I was able to incorporate fantasy aspects into my work as long as I adhered to the principles of what he was trying to teach, which is basically the strength of light and darks and the contrast in the portraits and realism of the faces.
Right.
So I was able to play with the backgrounds, so to speak.
Oh, you had an awesome professor. That's dope.
Yeah, you got lucky.
And the funny thing is, he studied the same style of martial arts as I did, so
Oh, okay.
he was a Kyokushin guy too, so we connected on a lot of.
Wow.
So I got free passes with a lot of shit.
That's what's up. So, Derbs.
It was a good time, man.
So,
Best time of my life.
So I noticed you touched on a lot of things that started off your art career, right? Do you have like a specific muse that you use before you start drawing? Is there something that inspires you before each piece, or has Hollywood just been lying to me like all these years? Artists just don't use them; they just draw whenever they feel like it. How does that work out?
You mean like that magical thing that kicks off an inspiration and makes you want to start a piece?
Exactly, like
Yeah.
that really beautiful woman walks by and it's like, yeah, I have to draw her. I need to draw like the moon and the stars just to show her.
Petey.
It is like that. Very few occurrences of that, I would say. It doesn't happen very often. There might be a thing, you're like, damn, or you might get an idea. Even if there's no physical muse or person that inspires, you might just say, oh shit, that's a hot idea. I might draw like Goku wearing Naruto's clothes. Stupid shit like that. You might just get a crazy spark, and I would say I want to draw it, but it's like I might get that idea before I'm going to sleep. I might get that idea while I'm outside, a place where I can't do it right away. And then by the time I get home, it's like I don't feel like doing that anymore. So it's not a lie, but it comes and it goes, and I find that most of my work is just mostly out of necessity now. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. We have projects, we have things that we do have to focus on, and I'm not one of those guys that just does piece for piece for piece. I have projects that I need to put more time into and have a consistent portfolio for that. So like my mind is always it's not necessarily on the next inspiration. It's more so on what do I have to do to advance this project.
Okay. Do you care if like your work like outlives you at all? Like if it just goes on for like 100 years, everyone remembers your name? Like somebody's gonna look at your art like 200 years from now.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the message though. Like, I'm a shout out to Marcus Prime right quick. His work will definitely live on for centuries.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And what I think it comes down to is a message. So you got to have some sort of cultural significance to your work, and I would like to say that maybe my fine art might last for a while, but at the same time, I feel like I've catered to quite a few narcissistic people that wanted to see. They might be watching this interview in the future, and they might disagree with me.
No, I hear you. I see the big titties on your page. It's all right.
Yeah.
We know what.
No.
Yo, everybody in this room like titties. Don't let them gas you. Everybody in this room like titties. Everybody likes some titties.
Nah, I'm not doubting that. Everybody loves titties. You know what I'm saying? But
Talk that talk.
I feel like a lot of those pieces come from people who want to see themselves painted. You know what I'm saying? And it stops there. It ends there. Once the image image of the person has a face, it only ends with them, you know, and their interest in it. Other people aren't so interested. When the artwork doesn't have a face, it becomes more relatable to a wider group of people. You know, so that's where they collectively, you know, get to enjoy an image, and more people will cater to it. You know, more people will come along and enjoy it.
That's cool.
But I can't say for sure whether my art will resonate through time. That's just something that happens.
So, but I'm saying though, do you want your joint to be like your joint 200 years from now? Everyone praise your joint, and then it's worth millions. Like, but let's say when you alive, you broke until you die. Like, how you feel about that type of situation? Because I know
that's
a lot of
kind
those
of frustrating. Yeah, that's
a lot of those
frustrating.
probably artists was like that. They was super dead broke, and then all of a sudden Mona Lisa is cracking, and everybody loves it. You know what I mean? Like, how you feel about those type of situations?
I mean, it won't matter because I'm dead. I won't. The weight of my opinion won't matter because I'll be dead, and you know I won't be able to consider it. But so it does suck to be broke while you're doing it.
Yeah, that's what. Maybe the better way to ask it is this: like, do you want to get paid for your work? Like rates that you feel are fair, not some like $10 for a little drawing of somebody as a cartoon character or something. Like, do you want to get paid for your work? Like, really paid?
I mean, it would be nice, you know, but
don't do that, Kyle. Come on. All artists, and I'm gonna guarantee you this: all artists want their flowers because drawing a piece, they put their heart and soul in that. You don't know how long it takes. Because when you do commission work, it's not about you anymore. It's about pleasing the person that's paying you. And for you to get their image of what they want into a canvas or doing it digitally, that shit man, it doesn't matter how great you are as an artist. You can't it's just some shit you're going to get and niggas going to ask you to do some weird shit. You're like, oh man, I don't think I want to do this, but the price is right. There's always some shit involved with trying to please your you know, the people that pay you.
You're right.
Yeah, but you know what? You work hard. So I want my money now. Give me my flowers. Give me my flowers. Give me my big. Give me my wine, my liquor, all that shit. Give me my praise now. I want to be in the audience while y'all singing me. You know how they do the tributes? That's how I want. That's what I want. I know you want. Don't stop playing, Kyle. I know you do. I know you do.
I understand. I mean, you know, I know people have these images of grandeur and things like that, and you know, I'm 32. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen like shit like go up and down. You know what I'm saying? I say it would be nice, and by all means, I wouldn't mind that. But I'm gonna keep a realistic view of things, and you know, I know that we always don't get what we want in life. But at the same time, we also don't always get what we're pursuing, and even the people that don't want anything sometimes get it all. You know, life is just so, you know, the windfall shit. They get windfalls, you know. Right. Life is full of surprises and expectations and all kinds of crazy shit. All I can do is just work. Everything else that is not decided by me, I can't worry about. Somebody else decides if my shit is worth $1 million. I can put a price tag on my work, sure, but you know, the museums and the art curators and the collectors ultimately decide if you're hot or you're not. So I can't worry about it. I can only worry as an artist. I can only worry about making art. And that's what it comes.
All right, you know why he's saying that? Because he's getting paid. That's why. Because
I'm getting paid by the
you getting good right there. You getting paid.
Yeah,
you
getting my
that collection. I see the merch behind you. You getting paid.
Well, yeah. What kind of windfall are you looking for? Do you want to be artwork in a museum? Do you want to be Stanley? Everyone remembers your name and like the artworks you've put out. Do you want to be like the next thing that's trending? Like,
I love Stanley, but
now Stanley doodle. We know why, but he doodle.
I mean, you know, Marvel. We all know about Marvel and their shit, but
yeah,
they built on the backs of many other artists. And
exactly.
But that doesn't mean like. Do you want to be museum artist? Do you want to be like people remember your storylines? What are you going for with yours?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, I would like to do the things I grew up on, man. I grew up on the anime and the manga, so I would definitely like to stick with that. And you know, I at least have 1 or 2 good stories out that I can say.
That's fire.
You know.
So you want to be more illustration?
Yeah. I'm an illustrator. I'm an illustrator. I mean, like I said, you guys want me to explain the fine art, the nude art stuff, the pinups, and
please.
Right.
Say less. Go ahead. You don't gotta ask.
No, I mean, if it helps clarify why I did it in the first place,
yeah.
It was because I was ass at drawing the female figure. So me drawing these lumpy, clumpy, jagged edge female bodies, you know what I'm saying? That were like out of proportion and just horrible looking. You know, I
Tell them how you really feel, Kyle.
Huh?
Tell them how you really feel. Shit, goddamn.
Nah, I mean, if I could find I don't got an example on me right now, but I mean, you know, it's like the worst drawing of a female you could find. Like, you know, titties was like, you know, it was bad. It was terrible. I had to study the subject matter of what I wasn't good at and just practice it. And out of that necessity to practice the female form came new drawings. So, you know, it started off with cam girls, then moved on to just, you know, more personal followers. Like, hey, draw me, and, you know, the usual draw me shit that we are. So, and, you know, I drew them nude and from photos. So, basically, that's where the accuracy comes from. And I got very good at it, and it translated into my manga work, and that's how I stay sharp now. So it's still practice. It's all just practice and application and studying.
So wait, quick question. Knowing how they mistreat these manga artists, you still willing to branch out in that type of line of work, knowing that they get underappreciated until, you know, they get an anime, and even though when the anime does get produced from their mangas, they don't get paid.
Well,
some don't really get paid like that.
The thing is 2 things about that though. This is not Japan, and I do not work for Shonen Jump.
Hey, see, we was gonna name drop, but since you said it,
I heard about this shit.
Hey, yo, Shonen Jump, I love y'all. I love y'all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know all about this shit. I know, you know, $90 per page, approximately.
Yes.
And the amount of work that goes into it. Mangaka be catching, you know, hospital visits off of that shit.
Shout out to Oda. Hopefully he's not in a hospital right now. You know.
I'm still waiting
in the hospital. Cuz was still joined in the hospital. Damn, I'm about to reread that joint.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's just certain things that aren't worth it. And I mean, if you can get self-published, your shit is out there anyway. You just have to do the promoting. Right. You know, everybody jumps on Shonen because it's the hype train, you know.
They have the fame.
I mean, a magazine's always going to be a great magazine, don't get me wrong. And everybody that's on there is deserving of their respect, but there's other ways to do shit.
Yeah, that's true. In the US, there is.
Yeah. I mean, there's other publications in Japan, too, that won't kill you as badly as Jump would. You know?
Just always go the Dojin route.
Right. Or like I'm gonna take Berserk for example. In weekly, it was a Young Animal is a monthly publication instead of a weekly. So you get to take your sweet time doing your pages and stuff, you know.
Okay.
Everybody's want to go Shonen Jump though. That's
because it's well known, you know, some of these avenues that we're not, especially since we're like outside looking in, we're fans from the outside. So we're not really big on the politics of that community. So like, you know, and then Shonen Jump is big as shit. Like, you know, if you want the latest issues on your Shonen and your, do they have shoujo in Shonen Jump? They don't produce show. No, it's just Shonen, right?
It's literally called Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
weekly Shonen Jump.
I knew that.
I think
I
they
was
have a
making sure
sister
you were paying
magazine,
attention.
but I can't think of the name off the top of my head.
That's the thing. They only produce Shonen.
All right, yeah. Okay, my fault. Scratch that. We're gonna edit that. Now, Derby, I'm serious, Derby. Look at the number. See what time it was and edit that shit. You're not gonna make me look like crazy when this shit go on the air. But listen, but
saying that.
but Derby, I think it was one more question you had before Gabby goes on to hers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So Kyle, do you ever think like you'll reach a point where you'll like look at your art and be like, this is as far as I'm going. Like this is as good as it gets. Like I've mastered this. This is awesome. I'm done. Never need to draw again.
Nah.
He's smiling.
There's been times where I've looked at my work and I said, shit, I used to do better 5 years ago.
Really?
But yeah, I mean, there's always gonna be, you know, you're your own worst critic, and there's always gonna be moments of self-doubt. There's gonna be moments of transitioning of skill sets, I want to say. Mm-hmm. So if I spend so and so amount of time on a digital piece, my traditional work might take a backseat and degrade a little bit. So it's really just balancing and keeping up your polishing and keeping a balance of what you practice and what you're doing at the certain time.
And then like nursing homes and stuff, like you just gonna keep drawing forever?
Oh
That'd
yeah,
be fire. That'd be fire.
As long as I have my eyes and my hands are able to stay steady, I'll do it. You know, as long as I can. But there are times where I'll be like, damn, my shit ain't good right now. There's days where I can't draw at all. And then there's days where I'll fucking bust out some crazy shit and I'm like, whoa, I surprise myself. Mm-hmm. So it's just give and take, you know. You evolve certain skill sets and you degrade on others and you just got to go back and polish it.
That's dope. That is dope. So I'm just going to wait till you get to that nursing home. I want a picture of myself and I'll give you a tapioca pudding. And then you just... But I think Gabby.
Yes. So is there any plans that you have to branch out into other fields like animation, regular American comic books, manga? Although regular American comic books is not something that you're really interested in, but is that something that you plan on doing, or
maybe the format of American comics? But I don't want to say like the style of it. You know,
what you mean format? Like comic book base, or like?
Yeah, because when I see your artwork, it reminds me of manga style, but at the same time, it reminds me, it has like both of the elements, both American and Japanese style. Okay. So I was wondering, are you trying to make like a comic or a manga series that combines or try to infuse both?
I personally like the setup of manga more because, or even if you want to say, if I were to go to American format, it would be graphic novels like Scott Pilgrim, for example.
Shout out, Scott Pilgrim. Yes.
Yeah, so
OD.
That was good.
I like the consistent storytelling and the volume base format of those graphic novels, as opposed to, you know, small, thin American comic books that change every issue you get. The subject matter changes, the plot changes, and it's hard to keep up with this universe, that universe. You know, so I never really, even though the characters are cool, I might like Wolverine, Batman, whatever. It's hard to keep up with storylines, and that's just a throw off for me altogether.
Yeah, I think that's because Marvel and DC, they don't keep the same writers. They don't keep the same writers. They don't keep the same artists. They're always changing them.
Yeah.
So,
and then if you make a character and then if you make a character in Marvel, you go to fucking
they
DC.
keep it.
Yeah, they keep it, and then you go to DC and make a similar character. And a lot of people don't know that the same artist created both characters. Like, biting off him. Nah, it's the same fucking guy.
Exactly. Shout out to Image Comics because they definitely give respect and they definitely give all the rights to their artists and their writers. Image Comics, if y'all, I love Image. Image is amazing because they actually,
Jim Lee, right?
Yeah, no, Jim Lee's an asshole. I don't like Jim Lee, but I mean,
I thought he owned Image Comics though.
I don't think he owns Image. I think he did a couple of. I think when they first started, he did work with them, but he kept on going back and forth between Marvel and DC when they first got out. Because I saw the documentary, The Secret World of Comics with Robert Kirkman, and they were saying how all these people kind of like they formed like a union, and Jim Lee was part of it. And then he was like, "Well, you know, because y'all not here, Marvel gave me a bigger check, so I'm gonna see y'all niggas later." So he just bounced. But I appreciate Image. Yeah, he got a nice check. He left. He ghost. So I appreciate Image Comics because if it's your art, if it's your character, it stays yours. Marvel and DC does not do that at all. You underneath the DC or Marvel name, we give you a check for that character and that's it. You can go. So that's the bad part about it. But yeah, shout out to Image.
If you create something, man, you should get the credit for that. And the company's still making money all the same. So I don't see why they, you know, it's like what they did to Hideo Kojima and Mega Man and other companies. They just it's fucked up, man. Of what these companies are.
It's like the rap game, man.
Yeah, Birdman, right, and Lil Wayne and shit.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's sad. That's sad.
Sometimes it's just best to put your own shit out there yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's very hard, especially if you're black. It's super hard because you need, at the end of the day, you still need investors.
Right.
And then not only that, when you're starting out, people start to devalue your work. They don't want to give you your just deserve, like what you really deserve. Like say, for instance, you have this character out and somebody wants commission work. Like, man, we brothers. You can't give me no discount. No, nigga, I'm struggling. This is my shit.
I get that shit every day from coworkers that want a commission.
Yeah, I hate that. So let me be. I can't get enough of saying this. If you like an artist, the best thing you could do is supporting your artist. Is not ask for a fucking discount. They work hard for their shit. Don't give them as a matter of fact, put more on that shit. Tip them. Shit.
Damn.
Shit.
So,
just like
so Kyle, I can't get a discount, my G? Damn.
Oh, here we go.
I was low-key about to ask for a discount. Damn. It's like, nah, I'll play.
Nah, he dead ass though. He dead ass.
Nah, like a discount is cool if you're like for example, if you're like a comeback customer, you know you have a rapport with that person, yeah, you can get a discount. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that you're always gonna be a patron. Right,
but that's on you though.
Right.
That's not for me to ask. That's on you though.
True.
Don't shortchange my shit. Man, you know, I was up late last night trying to finish this last shit. Talk about, oh, you need this shit today. What you mean today? I just got the commission letter. What you mean you need this shit in a couple of hours? And then you want a discount on top of that shit? Man, if you don't,
a lot of people are ridiculous with their demands, and it's crazy.
Actually, question: do you ever get like commissions and they're like, "Yeah, I don't like how it looks here. Can you change that?" Like any like.
Oh, you ain't had to look like that, Kyle. Kyle got stories.
No,
He about to kill people.
This one particular one got me tight because this person requested a Yuri Han from Street Fighter.
Hey, okay.
It was an anal scene.
Oh,
yeah.
That escalated.
Okay.
One shot.
Okay.
It was butt sex with it was Yuri Han spread with poison holding one of her pigtails, and Hugo, Hugo, the big wrestler guy from Final Fight.
Yo, what the fuck?
Is about to penetrate in PO, and I drew the shit in like POV, right? So
yeah,
POV, you said.
So there's Yuri with her butt open and shit, and all of the other Street Fighter casts are like, she's in a ring, right? And all of the other Street Fighter casts are like looking outside of the ring, and Hager's like on the microphone like JR, like, oh, it's gonna be a critical hit.
So, Commissioner had taste. Like how much
I try to make it interesting.
And how much?
Child, we gotta see that piece. Where that piece at? You got it? Can we see it?
Yo,
Stop playing.
You can't be doing that, bro.
Wait, we need to go.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'll show it to you guys. I'll forward it to you guys when I find it. But it's in a pile of papers right now. I'll pull it up.
Okay.
As I'll finish editing it.
We're planning to put this on YouTube.
Okay, that's gonna have to be a personal. It's gonna be a personal pass around. But
that's amazing. But what happened though?
So I drew it traditionally, right? So I wasn't really. I don't think I had the means to do digital yet at that time. And this guy complained about the size of her pigtails.
Are they too small or too big?
Does it matter though, Bree? Like she's complaining about
it was the right size.
I've got the cheeks spread. So
yeah, I mean everything was like great, and then it was the pigtail was like the right size, and he just wanted it bigger. But then I had already,
big pigtails.
no, I was just saying I already had drawn all the details and the fill, the black fill, the ink fill around everything else.
Wow.
So I would have had to like put white out on the shit and draw the hand over and do all of this nonsense for a pigtail, you know? And
wow.
And then they didn't want to pay me, so I never got paid for the job.
Oh, nah. What's his tag?
I remember. It was a long time ago when I didn't really know how to go about handling my commission money. Now they gotta drop something before I start the work. So.
Yo, peep game, yo. If you listening out there, you the one that wanted that shit. Yo, fuck you, for real. Like, yeah, that's some disrespectful shit. To have me hand drawing is I love traditional mediums. I love that. But for me to hand draw something and I already finalized to put the ink and you talking about you want to, man, if you don't, I will put the pigtails up your ass if you don't take this to give me my money, like on some real shit. Like that's crazy.
Well, Hugo's dick up that plan of drawing the shit.
Oh man, that
might be something that he's looking forward to if we keep it at a buck, because he was asking for some. Everybody got their kinks though. Y'all, everybody got their kinks. I'm not mad. Live your life.
I tell you about the Powerpuff Girl one though.
Wow. Story time. Story time with Kyle. Story time.
Okay, yeah, give it to us.
Well, no, the internet long.
I tell people about this one a lot though.
Do I want to hear this? And my heart said yes. What's going on with the Powerpuff Girls?
I think it might have been the same dude. It might not have been. Because it came, the Yuri one came.
You still work with him? It's your fault. You still work with him? It's the same dude?
No, this was back like when I first started. I don't even think I had Instagram yet. I might have had Instagram. It was like 2013.
All right.
When the shit first started. This dude wanted an obese Powerpuff Girls tied to a chair being force fed by the Rowdy Rough Boys, naked.
Which Powerpuff Girl?
All three.
And who was naked? The Powerpuff Girls or the Rowdy Rough Boys?
Naked, tied to the chair.
Everyone.
Shit, obese and being force fed.
But
by
the
the
most
Rowdy Rough
important
Boys.
thing, did you draw fingers, or did they just have the nub
Nothing,
dance?
because
None?
I drew nothing because I declined that shit. No, I'm not drawing that.
It's too far, guys.
That's too much. No.
Wait, hold on. Let me apologize for that question. Bree, you really did ask, did you draw fingers? Out of all the shit he said that he had to draw that he was requested, you had the nerve to say, well, did you draw fingers?
That's what my heart needs to know.
I mean,
if you're drawing not safe for work Powerpuff Girls, are you doing like Demo Sheet to Powerpuff Girls Z? Or are you doing like Cartoon Network OG 3 little elementary schoolers?
So
I mean, I would
we
do
just
both
gonna.
because if I did, their hands are tied behind the back. So I mean,
So you didn't even have to.
Yeah, but all that shit doesn't matter. That the fact that they're naked, obese, and being force fed, but the figures matter though, right?
I mean, it makes sense. It's like if you're doing Sonic porn. Are you, like, is he wearing the gloves or not?
When you think, you know what?
And what are they doing with those golden rings?
he sent me references too.
He sent you
He
references.
sent me references, examples. Like he sent me examples of the kind of stuff he wanted, and it just happened to be Chun-Li laying on a metal saucer with a carrot in her pussy. So it was just a whole bunch of strange shit.
That's like
I wasn't with it.
Like you say, you're not safe for work artist.
Like,
Instagram, so like I'm sure you get a lot of this kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind a little hentai or whatever, and you know, or ecchi and shit, but that was just crazy.
That's nuts. That's like clicking
girls
on the
are kids,
second
man.
page of Google. Like, who does that? Like, why you got to go to the second page of Google for information? You already going too far if you over there.
If you go to the second
This
page
is
of
page
Google,
12,
yeah.
at least.
All of girls are kids, man. Like I couldn't fuck with that shit.
Nah, that's crazy. Oh my god, that's so. Oh my god, I can't believe I wasn't ready for this. We should have. I was not ready for this. All right.
And it's okay.
Tasty.
It's okay to turn down commissions, man. Money ain't everything, man. Like that's just...
See, I ain't gonna hold you though. I don't know. I might have been the first bitch to draw that. Shit. What color you want them?
How much
Then, you know, like
That.
there was that artist that drew what's that little demon girl from Demon Slayer? Nezu.
Oh no,
It's
not
alright.
Nezuko.
Nezuko,
You know how
right?
many porn and hentai they got? With that shit
like,
for sale. That shit is.
No, that's what I'm saying. though. There's an artist that caught mad flack for that shit, and like they was coming for him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh really? He did?
Yeah. I don't need people coming for me like that. You know?
Okay.
I already been through
That's
Instagram.
understandable.
That's true. You have to manage like a reputation for what kind of stuff you post, what kind of things you commission.
Right.
Yeah, I get you.
I've been through 20 Instagram pages already, man. I'm like, I tapped out my Apple ID once, so I had to like make a new Apple ID and just to get...
Have you ever had an account banned?
Yeah, that's the reason why I had like 8.
That was your Apple ID.
Like it was crazy.
Wow.
And that was off
crazy.
that was off the nude artwork actually, not even my anime shit or manga shit.
Wow, that's crazy. When they say we are the most toxic when it comes to anime fandom, we are. Because the shit we asking artists to draw. If I see another, what's that dude from Hunter x Hunter? The clown pedophilia nigga. What's his name?
Hisoka.
They did a wipe challenge with him having gone in a chair, hog-tied. Like, I'm like, really though? He's a kid though. But then again, I don't know. I mean, I said it's crazy.
That's like as bad as drawing Donovan fucking guts.
Wow. Why you gotta do that though?
But then again,
I like Berserk.
Yeah, you have to consider that it actually happened, so it's not really fandom. It's like okay, it did happen. It's the same thing with Hisoka and Gon. It's like Hisoka wants it to happen. So it's not really that out of whack, you know what I'm saying? It's not that crazy to imagine a picture.
For a split second, I thought I missed like a hidden chapter of Hunter x Hunter. Wait, that happened? No, it didn't. Shit. Right, he wants it to happen. Okay.
It happened in the minds of a lot of people already. I'm sure there's some fans.
That's a fact. And TikTok won't let you forget it. I tell you that much. That's crazy.
But I kind of appreciate the fact that there's no bottom line though. Like it can get kind of disturbing, kind of dark, but literally anything, if your brain thinks of it, someone's probably drawn it by now.
Yeah.
That's weird, also kind of cool.
Yeah,
my bad. I thought that was a pun. When she said no bottom line, I thought that was a pun. My bad. I didn't hear nothing after that. My bad.
I'm just saying, like, artists are incredible. The stuff that people are willing to post, it's like, dang. I would have locked that in a box with 3 padlocks and shoved it deep in my closet under my dirty socks.
Well, you have to understand.
Just like put it right up there.
Nah, they don't show their face. They just be like, okay, the world can see, but no one knows it was me.
I feel like it's even more fun than that.
It's like a meme and shit.
Yeah. True. You might not always approve, but like sometimes you just gotta like sit back and say, dang, those guys really did it.
Yeah, and no limits to it either.
No limits.
Man, tentacle, woman. It's like
See, that's what got a lot of us on here is the tentacles. Tentacles are an amazing thing. I swear to God.
Right, you're not allowed to talk shit about anything if you're watching Tentacles. Therefore, none of us are allowed to talk shit about anything.
No, shout out to Legend of the Overfeed. That was my first shit. That shit is fire. I ain't gonna hold you. I love hand-drawn anime. Let me act real sophisticated.
Love Blue Girl.
Anime. The Blue Girl is my shit. The Blue Girl is my shit. But the Over, for Legend of the Overfeed, the details they put in those, man, the details is amazing. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's definitely a must watch.
No, that's the crazy part. Is like you got so much anime with shitty animation, and then you look at some of these hentais, and it's like, damn, they really put their heart and soul.
Yeah.
Like,
They put money on that shit.
Shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like that good.
Got great voice actors.
That's what I'm saying. We can all shake our heads as we're being recorded, but like, we all know what's really in our incognito windows. But no, I do not approve at all. Nope, that's bad. That's dirty.
Hold on, I gotta close my incognito window. My fault.
He closing it right
now. I'm here judging and I got that shit open. My fault.
Yo, that is crazy. No, but I have seen a couple of hentais with Demon Slayer quality animation. I'm like, they put CGI in this? Yeah, that is crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait. All right. Let me just ask you this. You seen Demon Slayer real quick, and then we're gonna go back to the questions. I just have to ask your opinion on this. I'm sorry, but I really have to. How do you feel about Demon Slayer being anime of the year for 2019?
Oh my God!
I got to.
Because we are halfway through 2020.
I can't answer I still have never seen an episode.
There it is.
That's great. Next question. Gabby. Because I was about to tell you a new one if you was like, oh, that shit is awesome. Kyle, you about to get it. You about to get it.
Like my Crying Freeman and Golden Boy and Project X.
Oh, I love Crying Freeman. That's only like 6 episodes, right?
Yeah.
What? Crying Freeman was the man. He slept with every shorty he saved. Like another version of Go-Go 13. That shit was great.
He did though. That's the weird. And he was like,
he slept with every shorty, yo.
And the funny part is like he cuffed the first one he met, but then he still slept with the other ones. Damn, yeah. He was
what? And she don't care. See,
yeah,
that's loyal. That's loyal. She don't care. She's like, he's loyal to come back home.
That what that is?
That's not loyal. That's not loyal though. Shut up. Listen. If you guys want to see great hand-written, hand-drawn anime, Crying Freeman, the Blue Girl, if you're into the hentai stuff, the Blue Girl, Legend of the Overfiend, and if you guys don't know this, Go-Go 13 is pretty dope. I like Go-Go 13. Dope storyline. It's dope. It's dope. Gabby, I think you got what? Did you have another question?
Yes, one that's actually wholesome, so no worries, no more hentai.
You think?
I was looking forward to that one. Shit, okay, but go ahead.
But is there any artist that inspired you, like while growing up, or even now, that makes you want to do more art, more illustration?
I mean, they're usually dead guys.
That's fine.
You know, the Michelangelos, the Leonardos, the Raphaels, the Sandro Botticellis, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure. All the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All the
You said the Ninja Turtles. Wow.
And then you chose these artists.
All the Renaissance guys. I got their books. You know, I collect art books, so it's like I got this shit. You know, and it's like I study it.
They're amazing. Those guys eat and breathe art. They literally dug up cemeteries and got dead bodies out just so they can be able to sculpture some of these human, like the Sistine Chapel. I swear, I just want to see that before I die, because the amount of work that was put in. The dude was swallowing paint. He did this all by himself. He said, I don't need no help. I don't care. I'm going to get this done. Like literally made himself physically sick. That's the type of passion you don't see from a lot of artists nowadays, because now everything is so easy and sweet. You could just do whatever on a laptop digitally, and then you're like, okay, this is fire. I just drew a pair of Jordans here with an athlete with them on, and you're like, oh, this is dope. Real artistry to me is when you live and breathe your shit and you sacrifice even the bare essentials just so whatever you see in your head is transitioned in front of you the way you're supposed to envision it. I'm sorry, I'm getting too deep. Anyway, back to you, Kyle.
mixing the paint and out of like crude colors and things like that is just a forgotten art form. A lot of people don't even know how to make their own paint, and
right.
It's just a lot that used to go into that back then. Yeah, they were driven. If anybody that I'd say inspired me that's alive now, Nicholas Draper Rivy. Dude has some crazy work ethic.
Really?
Not the most social of people, but his is crazy. Like, dude puts down work, man.
Really, and he's still alive.
Yeah, he's on IG.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, shout out to Nicholas. Hey,
he did the cover for the Black Panther. The Black Panther album cover.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy.
Say word. You serious?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what's up.
Awesome. Is there any like manga artist that inspires you?
Still my OGs. Tetsuo Hara, Kentaro Miura.
Hey, Vagabond. Shout out to Vagabond. That's an ill manga.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, I love it.
I forget the name of the guy that did Hajime no Ippo.
Oh, that nigga's still putting out issues. It's chapter 161,678, if I'm not mistaken.
I couldn't even keep up. I lost track.
Yeah, it's past One Piece. That's
what's up.
Yeah, it's been out. I think it's out before. I think it was out before One Piece when it came out. Ippo. Yeah, it was dope. They should have continued with the anime, but the manga is dope.
Nobody's talking about it. That's the crazy part.
There's hope for the anime. I have hope.
Because
nobody's
talking about his chapter number because he ain't in Shonen Jump.
Oh, see, okay, there it is.
Right?
There it is. For you to get some type of recognition, you got to be a hoe for Shonen.
You got Oda receiving awards for that shit, but he passed Oda. So it's like it's crazy.
Yeah, he passed Oda. It's only 2 mangas I think that are past One Piece. He can't take it.
Let's be clear. Oda has the most successful, longest running manga.
Here we go.
Overtook Hajime no Ippo, but in the amount of chapters, Hajime no Ippo definitely has more than One Piece. But let's be clear, though.
What was the award actually for, though? Because I know he got that award that one time.
It was the most copies sold, like of any long running series. Yeah.
I thought it was like the longest running.
Nah. I think it's the most copies sold because that's the thing where they say about One Piece fans. They always come out of nowhere and talk about One Piece most copies sold.
I'll be doing it too.
All the text, though.
I'll be doing it. But I think
who the fuck buys that manga?
Man, listen. One Piece. If it comes down to it, if there's a specific arc that will change you, you'll buy that whole fucking. You'll buy that whole fucking arc. They got them.
I'll find out if you go arc on the internet.
Here you go.
Let's not discredit Hajime no Ippo though. That's a classic. That's fire.
It is a classic. It's a fire anime.
I think that don't get talked about as much over here because I just think overseas is way bigger. Like overseas, it's like Detective Conan. That shit is huge over there. But
big.
Like I mean, in certain corners of the internet type shit.
No, it's great. It's just for some reason international is not as popular.
Yeah.
Man, Detective Conan needs to go somewhere. If he don't find out what happened to him, I'll give him 1 more year and I'm done.
You gotta relax.
He's older now. Like
you might as well have grown up again.
I was enjoying the show though. I can't.
He didn't.
Yo, he lucky I'm not that shorty. Cause I would have been left his ass. Like, what? You still a kid? Get out of here. You better get out of here.
From time to time, he gets a phone call.
See how she be flipping? She was just talking about chicks being loyal, but then she gonna leave when somebody gets hurt.
That's different. I can't be loyal to kids, man. Like you gotta be grown. You gotta give me the only person I'm being loyal to that's a child, that's if I have kids, that's my child. But if I gotta sit there, listen, She like in her 20s now. Not even now. Now she's probably in her 40s. Still going around with this little nigga. Not even understanding how the fuck he could solve this case. He's only 8 years old. Like, no, I'm done. You can solve the rest of these cases. I need to build a family. I need to get a dowry.
Yeah,
I need to make sure my like, nah. You crazy. We in Japan, nigga. I ain't got time to Scooby doing with your ass.
That's what you're forgetting. I'm pretty sure he's rich and he can occasionally be grown up when he drinks alcohol. So just get with him while he's drunk, marry him while he's drunk, take his money, and then he's a kid again.
You know when you're like 20,
that's that Hisako shit.
Yo.
He what?
What? How you gonna say, yo, get that man when he drunk and take his money?
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, you marry a child. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Wait, no.
Yo. I do not support none of the shit she talking about. So the listeners out there, she's wilding.
And we'll return back with this after this brief commercial message. Like, yo, Bree about to get us canceled. Stop it.
That's what's gonna get us canceled. All that we just spoke about on this episode, that's what's gonna get us canceled.
So it's really Kyle. It's Kyle that's about to get us canceled.
I mean, y'all ain't lying though, man. Like I said, if you're 28 in Japan and you're not married, your life is over. Like,
yo,
that's it. You know how many mangas and webtoons I read with bitches and they fucking office job talk about, oh, I ain't shit. I'm 30 years old. I ain't married. I ain't got no kids. My mom just kicked me out the house. I got this new studio apartment. I'm sleeping in the air mattress. I'm like, bitch. Like, if I wasn't married, I would really, really feel some type of way about that shit. Like, first of all, hello, 30 is the new 20. Hello.
Yeah, it's crazy how they see that. Like, and they look young, man. They don't age like that. So I don't know what the issue is.
No, but they do look young. And then all of a sudden, you sitting there, you read certain chapters, and the nigga's like, "Oh, you old bitch, get out my way." I'm like, "What? There's no creases on her." I'm like, what are you talking about?
Delinquents be wilding.
What manga am I reading? Webtoons be on some shit. Shout out to Webtoons. Love y'all. I'm gonna tag y'all on this shit. You need sponsors? Yo, we right here, Webtoons. What's up? But trying to get that plug. But yeah, what else? There was I think Bree. That was you had one great super question. I forgot what it was. I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna ask him that before she does," but I forgot.
Ooh, one thing I was gonna ask: is there anything you're really into right now? Something you can't stop drawing, can't stop watching? No.
Does it have to be anime or
no? It could be anything. Yeah, go.
Can't stop watching Martin and the Wayans Brothers. The Last Dragon.
Hey, Bruce Leroy.
Fire. That's actually super fire.
That is fire. I love it. Damn. That's amazing, yo. I found my equal right now, because if I said this shit and he wasn't dead, none of y'all would be like, "What the fuck is that? I don't know that. I don't know that."
Bullshit.
What?
Yo, so wait, so y'all know about Legend of the Overfeed?
Duh. Are you dumb? Like, he's wildin'. Like,
I got one more question. All right, so we've had this question like amongst ourselves before. So so there's been a lot of black people like portrayed in art, and it's not usually done well.
Mr. Crow.
Yes. So we were wondering, like, would you prefer it to be like more black artists taking on these jobs, or just people just educating themselves and just becoming better overall? So, like, even white people can technically learn how to draw black people better.
Impossible. Go ahead.
Excuse me. What are your bad examples?
Let that man answer.
Okay, I'm sorry.
What are your bad examples?
Sister Chrome.
Sister Chrome. Popo. Dragon Ball Z Popo.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Popo. Yes, Mr. Popo.
Well,
every black artist.
Is he technically like a Moor or like a Persian?
Who, Mr. Popo?
More.
Yeah,
I think he's a more. He's a more. But still,
I mean,
no, Kyle, don't do
obviously
that.
blackface.
Don't do that. No, don't do that. That's no. That's terrible. No matter what race he is, that's terrible. That's terrible representation.
You got the
Don't do that.
black skin.
Is
and
he
the
human?
thick lips.
Is he a human blackface? I mean, that's.
They knew what they was doing. They knew what they was doing when they drew that.
Thank you.
I seen that.
Yeah, was
I
there
seen
a
that
version
shit
that, like,
in front
changed
of a store in 2018. So I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
it's out there.
even though as much as we all on here love Oda, even Oda has made a couple of
terrible characters. That he
thank you.
drew.
He made he made terrible characters, non-white characters that look very, very, very questionable. Aunt Jemima type, Uncle Ben type, Punch Monkey type.
All right, so you said Usopp, right? And
from One Piece
Mr. Popo,
and
then you
Mr.
got
Popo, Sister Chrome from Promised Neverland, Sister Chrome.
There's a character also named Miss. Was it Miss Monday? I think it was Miss Monday on One Piece. She was like, I think he drew what he thought was Serena Williams, like how everybody be wilding and saying Serena Williams not cute because she like type. Yeah, she drew. He drew some brolic ass black dude. It was like, yeah, Miss Monday. I'm like, huh?
I mean, and what's his name from One Punch Man? Darkshine or something?
Oh my God, Darkshine.
Super Luster Darkshine or some shit?
Yeah.
It is. It is.
I tried to forget that. I can't believe you did that. God damn.
Remember that one guy in DBZ with the black guy that was with Mr. Spopovich or some shit like that in the tournament arc?
Yeah, with the big lips. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That guy.
Yeah.
You know what? You like this shit, Kyle, because you got more than enough references. You just coming out giving us extra references on top of what we gave y'all.
Yo, you know what? The way I see it is that even if it's a messed up reference, it's a reference. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, they don't have to put us in shit at all.
I'd rather they don't.
They don't fall under the same judgment as we do over here in America, where we need more representation from black people. They're all the way in Japan. They don't where there's only Japanese people. They don't have to do that.
But there's the internet and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the world is too global now to say like, oh well, we didn't know, we're too far away.
No, I mean,
no, they just don't care. They don't care. They don't need to. They don't have to answer to anybody.
No, that's what I'm saying. The way they could go about conducting these character designs, it's not well informed and it's ignorant. But at the same time, they also didn't have to make that character at all. So I mean, you take it with a grain of salt and say, fuck it. There's a brown person. There's a black person. Like, and not all of them are drawn in that manner. Like, take Oob, for example. Oob was pretty easy.
Right, there are some good examples. Like, I always put down Carol and Tuesday.
Right, so for every bad example, there's another good example. But not all the time.
I got balance. For every, 4 bad examples, there's one good example.
And this is one of the reasons why we're trying to rush your ass to bring out that manga so we can see some dope black representation. So we definitely want that. And bro, we want another interview when that shit drop. For real though. I'm not don't say you got me. I want that on paper. Cause you probably gonna forget about this shit.
It's okay, we're recording.
No, I'm working.
There you go. There it is. Got you on tape. Got you on tape.
And I'm talking about that discount, my guy. I'll ask you about that discount, my guy, because I'm gonna be confident.
There you go.
Before Diabolical, I got to start on this thing called Stereo Goons, so I'm gonna be doing that first. That's been a project that has been put off for several years now. So don't think that that's the only one I'm not working on. It's just forth between a lot of it, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know what? I'm just gonna say it like this: a lot of people are gonna greatly appreciate the fact that you put everything into your manga, and that's what's gonna make it phenomenal because it's yours. So man, I just can't wait. I want to see this. I definitely want to see this.
You got supporters, but let's be very clear. If your joint is trash, I will definitely pull you to the side. This ain't it. I would never do it in public. Behind the scenes, though, I'm like, my G, this ain't it. In public, though, We rocking. You feel me?
I'm doing my best to not make it trash because I'm not the best with dialogue, so to speak.
Right.
You know, my composition could also use some work. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You know, so I'm still trying to figure out panel spacing and you know, angles and things like that. You know, I'm still learning. That's even though I might be good at doing individual artworks, that's a whole nother beast. You know what I'm saying? So that's also learning.
It is.
And
I never thought how hard that was when Image came out. I think when Image first came out, it did like the art was beautiful. They were the first comics that had the glossy paper, so it was phenomenal. But it plummeted because of the fact that at the end of the day, they were just artists. So they didn't know how to write great stories. So, but later on, I think you get better as you go, as far as like dialogue goes, because at the end of the day, what's more important, you're a fan first. So it's not like you're just jumping into this because of the fact maybe you like the art design. You really like the whole shit about anime, manga, and graphic novels. So I really do think that this is going to be a walk in the park. I'm just waiting to just see the first publish. So that's it. I'm waiting for the first chapter. So stop playing.
Gotcha. I mean, that's the thing too. I don't want to do like a chapter by chapter release. I kind of want to just do the whole thing and release it. You know.
Like. Oh, we appreciate that. Right? We never appreciate that.
No, it's a personal thing. I never was a chapter by chapter kind of guy. I was like.
We're not that either. We got no choice. You think we was like that?
Yeah. I want to go back to that question about the black characters. Can you repeat that one? I didn't finish answering the whole question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I violated. Go ahead.
So, like,
she not sorry. She always do that. She always do that.
So
She's not sorry.
Should happen like in the industry? Should they like hire more black artists? Should more black artists step up to fill those roles to like draw black characters in our experiences, or should or can like other non-black artists take up
educated
and just learn how to do it properly?
Both, because it's a community. Even though we come from different backgrounds and cultures, we're all artists and we all have something to learn from each other. So if black artists come and represent their characters properly, I think that artists from overseas and other cultures can learn from that representation and pull from that representation and incorporate that into their work. And then there'll be all around good representation, proper representation.
Okay. I was about to come for you in a minute, but yeah, I like that. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. So, I think, let's see here. Wait, I know Kevin hates when I say this, but because you are an anime fan, right? I gotta quickly ask you, what's your top 5 real quick before Kevin kick my ass? Please tell me what's your top 5.
Anime? Strictly?
Yes.
Ippo, Berserk. Not necessarily in this order, but Ippo, Berserk, Fist of the North Star. I want to say Baki.
Hey. Wait. Old Baki or new Baki? Because the old one pretty fire too.
I mean, Baki's just Baki to me because at the same time, while I like the fighting aspect of it, the character backgrounds are just retarded to me.
Oh yeah, they bug.
I'm not gonna be nice about it. Like, come on, you eating steel and shit? Like, what's up with that shit, bro?
That's right. It's
a little ridiculous. I would take Kengan Ashura over that, but then it's like
how you say it for real? Because I've been saying Kigen Asura.
Kengan Ashura.
Okay, Kengan. All right, you teach me later because I can't say it.
But and let me see one more, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna go old school. I don't know that shit. Do OVAs count too?
Yeah, we can do OVAs.
We'll go with that Fatal Fury motion picture.
Woo! All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See, ain't you look? Kev looked up. Ain't you happy I asked his top
5? Yeah. I'm not. That was a good movie. I can't front.
It was, wasn't it? That shit was fire.
Even though they should have killed Geese, but it is what it is.
Yo, Geese is that guy though. Geese is that.
He's coming back to life. He's need to chill.
True savage.
Low key, somebody gave him a sensu bean. But
Ah.
so, who had the last question?
Right here. So is there any advice that you have for the viewers that want to become an artist or just struggling to like find the motivation to continue?
It's gonna be a long ass answer. Long answer.
Oh, man, quarantine. We ain't got nowhere to be.
Facts.
Speak for yourself, nigga. I'm essential. I don't know about you, non-essential.
All right, so check it. Anybody that's aspiring to be an artist that want to take themselves seriously and move on to a professional level, you have to take your time. I see a lot of young artists on Instagram that are like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, you know. They're rushing to be professional. They're rushing to get commissions coming in. They're rushing to make a name for themselves. They're rushing to find their style. And a lot of these guys and girls are self-taught.
Yeah.
And when you're self-taught, you kind of want to jump from you want to jump from drawing that thing you're good at drawing and sticking with that, and then magically being a great artist. It doesn't work like that. You have to understand how to draw. You have to understand what drawing is, the basics that go into drawing, the fundamentals, the tools, the practices, the homework. You know what I'm saying? There's so many aspects that go into just the simple art of drawing itself that you can't.
Yeah, but Kyle, let me ask you this though. How you want to say that to a typical dude, a typical high schooler that doesn't have access to all these things, who has parents that are against his dream? How is he supposed to perfect his craft? And because some of these sources you were lucky to have, because you were inspired, right, by other professors, people who got into your life. What is it that you say to the ones that are coming up? How are they supposed to perfect their craft if they don't have or weren't fortunate enough to have these people to enter in their lives, to encourage them, to give them the information that they need for them to grow and make sure that their art is not taken advantage of and stolen? So
that's a whole nother question. That's another aspect. But
my bad.
No, that's fine. that's a whole nother answer. But to answer the first part of that question, they do have the resources they need. Ironically, is you could find a working pen in the garbage. You can find a piece of paper anywhere. You know what I'm saying? It starts off as a hobby and a passion. So it's something you're gonna do even if people tell you you can't do that professionally. It's something you're gonna do as a hobby. And within that hobby, you can still learn and grow. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't get serious about shit until I was 25. And that was 7 years ago, you know? So, like, the whole other time I was just doing this shit because I enjoy doing it. And that doesn't change the fact that you still have to get your foundation. You still have to obtain your basics. You're not going to just find a style out of your ass. You know
right, but that's how they're going to do that. If they're not in classes, see, you not into major art classes, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so, no, because you try to play me, talk about, you can find a pencil in the trash. Nah, don't play me. Don't play me.
No, listen.
Well, instead of that, it's more like, how will they stay motivated? Because again, you don't have that support. You're probably low income. You have pen and paper and things like that, but you don't have the motivation. You have to be your own motivator, but how can you go about that?
You got the internet and you got Instagram. That's a lot that people didn't have 20 years ago.
Right.
Like when I was coming up, like everything was still, we played Pong on computers and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we had, and it's like now you just have to reach out. A lot of people are introverted and a lot of people are like afraid of opinions. other people's opinions. So all you really have to do is just put your shit out on social media, and there will be people that will help you. There will be people that will speak and give you good criticism, constructive criticism. And the internet is there. You know, I don't need to buy these books. You know what I'm saying? You could find images of the stuff in each one of these books on Google, on the internet. So it's like you have everything at your fingertips. It's just a matter of looking for the shit and wanting that source of information, wanting to, you know, invest in and absorb that information. And a lot of people don't really do that because, you know, I can tell you guys, like, you know, you do your research and you do your homework and you come from somewhere where you remember what it's like to not have the internet. You know what I'm saying? Or have these resources available, you know? So, and a lot of people aren't like that. A lot of people don't have, you know, a lot of people that I've spoken to, they don't know how to go to the bank and get their credit cards. You know what I'm saying? They don't have credit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's our basic common necessities.
Essentials.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, that people should know when they reach a certain age. And that goes for artists, you know what I'm saying? It's just that when you're self-taught, it's like you kind of you're just skipping along. You miss certain essential things along the way, and it just takes one person to tell you, go do that.
Right.
That's why I tell people, take a pen, not a pencil, take a pen and fill a sketchbook, so because you'll work out all your fuck ups.
Oh, and I'm not doing that. That's scary.
You'll make exactly. You'll make less mistakes along the way as you're more careful, and your lines will be more confident and things like that. And you know, style comes from what your influences are. So it's just different things like that. You know, that's basically what I tell them. Just fill your sketchbook, study your background, study your shit, do your homework. You know.
Right. Take your time.
Take your time.
Don't be in a rush.
14 years old.
Mission work. Yeah.
I mean, you might be in a situation where you're like fucking 15 and you're about to be homeless and you need commissions, but
yeah.
You can also get a job at, you know, a small entry level job and keep doing art as a hobby. You know, there's different ways to go about this shit. It's just, you still always, at the end of the day, no matter how essential your art becomes, no matter how much of a job it is, you still have to have fun and love it. At the end of the day, you have to enjoy what you're doing. Otherwise, don't do it.
That's a fact. Well, so did we dissect him, guys? Did we get all we needed?
Hey, yo.
Takes you back to my days in, you know, my class and shit with the frogs.
There you go. You gotta do everything. You gotta take everything.
It's not a experiment. But bottom line, man, I think it's great to have you on here, man, because it was real informative, especially with the different ways you spoke about keeping yourself inspired and trying to, you know, continue practicing, falling in love with what you do. You know what I mean? Because that's a key factor that's missing with a lot of people. And also, you know, fall in love with failure. Don't be afraid to fail. You know what I mean? Pick up that pen and start.
Bars.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of beauty in failure. I tell people all the time, yo, I take 99 losses before I get that one W. But damn, that one win feels so goddamn good. I'm willing to do it all over again. Because that one win feels so good. So, you know what I mean? And now I have no fear of everything. I do everything well. You know what I mean?
It's like, if I had to give an analogy to it, it's like basketball, right? You have the entirety of the sport of basketball. But let's say you like how Kobe dribbles, right? Let's say you like how Curry, like, you know, shoots. You like how Jordan dunks. You're going to take different aspects from this person and that person and put it together into your game. Right. And that's how you develop your own form of basketball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's basically the same with art. You take different pieces of this and like Bruce Lee and Jeet Kune Do. You know, that's what it is. That's your style. You know what I'm saying? That's your style. Nobody else's.
That's a fact. And what all of these things have in common, art, basketball, Bruce Lee, practice. Practice. Draw 1,000 sketches, shoot 1,000 shots, throw 1,000 punches, do all of that, man.
Right.
Don't be scared.
Consistency.
Consistency. That is a fact.
Yeah. What did they say, bro?
I'm so excited.
That was unnecessary. But on that note,
this is a great interview. I love the interview. This is like, I feel like professional and shit, right? Like this is like an official interview. Like I like it. It was fire.
Yeah.
Another note though, that little accessory that you have in your shirt, I keep looking at it, and all I can think about is the Sailor Moon like chrysalis. So all I'm thinking is like.
It's like a rod of
Sailor Moon fan, great.
It's actual bronze from Africa, but
okay.
I think this shit might be
fire.
Like I start, no, I deadass think it's cursed though, because I start feeling like fucked up every time I wear it, like kind of sickish.
Well, you did a great job because you was flawless in this interview. Thank you. You don't need to wear.
It's helping me right now, but I don't know, man. As soon as this shit closes, I might like, whoever it belonged to, or whatever minds this came out of, that's some some of them people mind in Africa.
Oh God! Let's just hope it's not a bad shaman. I hope it's not a bad shaman. But it was a pleasure having you, man. It was please let's do this again. And for all the listeners, and the watchers that are listening to the podcast, for the whole week, we're actually gonna have amazing work, like all the stuff that Kyle has posted from before. I'm trying to see if I can get some future content that he hasn't posted yet. I'm trying to, finesse that and post that on our IG for the rest of the week. No, probably on. Hold on, let me put on my calendar. We're gonna edit that out. Hold on.
The rest of the week is
on
tomorrow.
the 1st. No, the 1st. We're gonna start off on the 1st and just have every day we'll post different pieces from Kyle that you can actually see and learn from. Like I feel like if you're starting out in this game and you need some inspiration as far as motivation and art, follow his page. You will definitely get it. Every time I'm on his page, I pick up a pencil, not a pen, but I pick up a pencil, and it definitely keeps me going. So I definitely
appreciate social medias, my G. Plug them social medias one more time. Talk to him, Kyle.
Well, I want to say that I'm happy to be here, and I thank you for the opportunity. And yes, I would like to motivate and inspire more, and I'm here to teach and give advice and provide that to young artists. And even my fellow peers who have been doing it for a while and they feel like a little bit of doubt, I'm happy to help. I'm Brooklyn Tengu. Follow me on Instagram at Brooklyn Tengu. I'm also on Black Artery Studios. So that's my side business with my business partner. He has them connections to Netflix, I think. So
send that.
I will.
We're trying to get a Netflix show right here.
You might see some shit in a few years, you never know. But the projects that I'm currently working on are projects dealing with that. So I can't necessarily, release them right now. But you guys are gonna see some things coming up in a bit. All right, they're coming. Things are coming.
They're coming. But we'll be the first to know. We'll be the first to know, though.
Gotcha.
All right.
And at this point, man, I think we should wrap this on up. You know what I'm saying? Black Ramen Podcast. Kyle, thank you for being a part of this, man. Again, you got to run it back one time with the squad. It's only right. You know what I'm saying? And
looking forward to next time.
Hey, niggas, that is. To all the viewers out there, man, yo, stay at home, wash your hands, stay clean, stay safe. Please, be yourself, whatever the weather, and always remember you the one, not the two.
Hey!
Those
Brooklyn, yeah.
Stop it. Stop it.
Okay.